Hey, hey, turn that TV off. Turn that TV off. Turn you on some music that will heal your soul. Listen, do it. I'm telling you, turn that TV off because sometimes you have to. Y'all, I got a good one for y'all today, so stay tuned. Y'all, this one is a oldie buddy. Wait, first of all, thank y'all for coming to Bernita Rochele Spoken Word and Conversations. Y'all, listen, thank y'all. This one, I forgot to put in the intro, is a oldie but a goodie. And it's called Sometimes You Have to. Honey, listen. Sometimes you have to. And listen, hey, let me just tell you, I wrote this one on April 13th, 2021. My hands may be ashy. Look, I don't know what happened to my lotion bottle and I didn't feel like running upstairs. But anyway, sometimes you have to. You have to shut down, power down, disconnect, block, shut the TV off. Sometimes you have to tune it all out. Sometimes you have to say enough is enough. I have allowed you too much access to me. Sometimes you have to say no access allowed to my mind, my thoughts, my heart, and my soul. Sometimes you have to say, this is not healthy for me. I can't do it no more. I have reached my capacity. And you can no longer use your manipulation. It has no more control over me. Do you hear me? Sometimes you have to say, I'm done. This is all a distraction. My hands are up. I surrender my all to you and to you only. Sometimes you have to. That's what it's called. Now, listen. You are going to have to learn how to control your emotions. And let me tell you why. Because times are getting real out here. Listen, now, I'm going to tell you why. You have to disconnect sometimes. You have to look for your exit signs. You have to know what you can handle. Okay. You got to know when to step away when you know that conversation is finna go way left. Okay. Meaning like, it's finna get somebody about to get unhinged. Listen, it's real. Now, let me tell you, I'm going to give you an example. I went, and it's a couple examples, y'all, couple that I have experienced within the last week. And yeah, last week, because that would have been because we Thanksgiving holiday, I don't celebrate it. But anyway, what happened was I went to the store and I had paid this girl, the lady actually, when it came to the grapes, you know how sometimes you don't know how to push the code or whatever. And so I had did my groceries. So I did all my groceries, the ones that I had. And then I was like, oh, can you show me how to do the grapes? Now, she did the grapes actually. And then all I did was scan my card because I was done. Those were my last things to do. So then I I began to walk out the door, packed my last items of grocery. But when I was putting the last item in, it kind of said, dun, So it seemed like I had rang my stuff and it didn't pay. But I was like, oh, she saw what I did. So I ain't tripping off of that. And anyway, I got my receipt. So then I packed my stuff. She comes running after me like a big quarterback. She's like, ma'am, you didn't pay. And I'm like, huh? She was like, ma'am, you didn't pay. I said, well, here's my receipt. She was like, no, you didn't pay. I said, here's my receipt. You saw me. I said, you saw me. So what I did was I took my receipt and I held it up so everybody could see. I said, no one's trying to steal from you. And I knew when to disconnect because I knew that was going to go way left. And you got to know your capacity. But I stood there with my receipt. So I said, do you need to look at all of this? You saw me. Like, what is going on? That's that one. The next situation, I am in another store. I'm not going to say the name. I'm in another store. And I make my son's pancakes from scratch. And so it's this apple spice. It's so good. So I use that. It's a non-dairy milk. And I was looking because I knew I saw it at this one store before. So I go, and you know how when you're looking at something, but sometimes you got to back because it's something, the stuff is way in the back. So I looked on the bottom. It wasn't there. So then I tried to look at the top. But before I went back, I looked to see if anyone was there. I don't know where this lady came from. All of a sudden, she comes and I said, oh, excuse me. She said, excuse you. And I said, whoa. I looked and I was like, oh my God, you heard what I said. I had to disconnect, y'all, because it's about to get real out here for no reason. It's about to get real out here. People just minding their business, but it's about to get real out here. And hey, I ain't got nothing to do with that. All I know is I have learned to disconnect, disengage, exit, do. Get the hell out. Okay. This is all I'm saying is learn how to disconnect. Do not put your emotions in it. Get out, whatever, because people are pushing buttons for no reason. Okay. So this is why I'm saying learn. I need you guys to practice your disengagement. Don't engage. Disengage. You know what? Because if you disengage, you don't give nobody power over you. You won't give anyone power over you. Okay. If you resist it, it will flee. That was the scripture that I was looking for, and I'll put it up there. But y'all, that ain't it. Now, this is all in the same week. So I am getting me some dates. So I go and I look at the price. So you have the little container that's about this big. And then you have the big container, which is about that big, So I go and look at the dates. Now, the thing said $8.99 for all sizes. Do you hear me? All sizes. It didn't say $12.99 nowhere. Okay. So I asked the girl that was working. She was right behind me. I say, wow, how much is these dates? So I said, because here it says $8.99. And then I say, I'll get the bigger carton if that's what it is, because it didn't have like $15 or $12.99. It didn't. Right. So then she said, oh, let me ask Ronnie. So Ronnie comes. And then I said, what price are these right here? Ronnie says, oh, that's the wrong price. And I said, well, okay. I said, well, don't I get them from this price since I seen them since I see them at this price? $12 $9.99 or $8.99, one of the two. Okay, don't quote me. So he said, no, this is how he's talking to me. Now, granted, I am not dressed up. I am not, and I'm not going to prove myself by dressing up to nobody. I don't have to do that. And you don't either. So then I'm like, okay, but that's what stores normally do. And then I look back at the girl and I'm looking like, what? I'm not tripping. I'm not giving them to you. I'm not giving you to. This is how he is talking to me. I said, okay, this is how I'm totally like this. I'm like, okay. He stood there to continue to say what he was saying. I said, okay. I said, then you just tell me that. You just told me that. Now, why are you repeating yourself? He's steady talking to me. I ain't making this up. I'm not making this up. So then I say, let me grab these dates and just move on because something is weird. It was almost like, and then y'all, when I left, the two were talking, whispering. I'm like, I don't got no time for this. I grabbed my dates. I had already grabbed the smaller container. Then I said, nah, let me go and get go back and get the big container. So then I go to the guy that I told you guys about last week that was saying that he was scared. I go to him and I said, look, these dates, they say $8.99, and the guy, the sign ain't there for $12.99. So another guy was there. He was like, oh yeah, we've been having problems with the pricing on them dates. He was like, oh, I'm going to give them to you for $8.99. Don't worry about it. Because the man told me they was $12.99. He was like, oh, don't worry about it. The moral of the story is I got them dates, the bigger can instead of the bigger bucket for $8.99 or $9.99. So my point to you is do not engage because people are taking little things to make you get upset. Disengage. Do what you have to do. Keep your peace, y'all. That's enough of that, y'all. But listen, thank you to my new ones and thank you to my day ones. Y'all keep riding with a girl. I am so grateful. Well, that's it. That's all for me today, y'all. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.